So today is Saturday, March 25th, 2017, and I've about got the front end of this Jeep buttoned up, and I want to kind of show you guys what I've done and some of the pain points that I had. So over here you can see the new ball joints. Now, in order to get these ball joints out, you've got to have a pretty large socket to get on there, but you also need to have one of these guys. This is a spanner wrench. The number on that is OTC 7080. Kind of see it right there. But anyways, there's a threaded sleeve in this right here, and you've got to use this once you take that nut off to get that out. Additionally, you need to have one of these guys. This is a 2 1/8 inch wheel nut, I guess axle nut socket. Couldn't find this at the local parts store. Couldn't find either of those parts at the local parts store, either the spanner wrench or the this axle nut wrench. So it delayed me a little bit. So over here you can see the new tie rod. I just went ahead and ordered a new piece because the other one was pretty mangled, and then I got a new drag link. New sway arm bushings there, and sway arm links. I just went ahead and ordered new ones of those. They weren't that expensive. I got a new axle bump stop there, and of course I painted this fender well, which I think makes a huge difference. Also shot this top part of the frame here with some paint. All this is Pour 15. It's just the top coat, the chassis black color, and I used the Pour 15 metal prep prior to that, and then put about 3 coats on, pretty thick coats. Turned out pretty good. It's kind of the same thing on this side, ball joints, new sway bar links, bushings, and again touched up and painted some of this frame. And here you can see the drop Pitman arm, and let me show you something with this Pitman arm. So ideally your Pitman arm, your drag link and your tie rod should be parallel to each other. Mine is actually a little bit less than parallel, so it's kind of almost aimed down, and I'll tell you why that happened. Is all the drop Pitman arms that they sell for these Jeeps are all the same size, and that assumes that you have a 4-inch lift on the Jeep, which I do, but my Jeep, my lift comes in the form of 2.5 inches from the spring pack and then 1.5 inches from these shackles. Now I'm going to change that out eventually to just 4-inch springs, but the springs don't arch as much as they would if they were 4-inch lift, so therefore this drag link is a little bit below parallel. So I'm going to drive it around like this. It's pretty close to the tie rod, and I haven't put my steering stabilizer on yet either, but I'm going to give this a whirl and see what happens. Get these tires put on and drive it around the block and see how it feels. Hopefully it's going to feel a lot better than it did, and then I'm going to move on to something a little bit more fun and put this front bumper on, clean up this grill, put my lights back in, and start putting some of the cosmetic accessories that I got for the Jeep, new fender flares, hood dress-up kit, stuff like that. So I got my front end put back together and drove it down the street a little bit, and it's not perfect. It's a lot better. It still wanders a little bit, but it seems to ride pretty good. Hopefully once I get it aligned, I'll notice a difference there as well and have a professional look at it and make sure there's nothing I didn't overlook. So over here I finally got my front bumper on. This is from Rock Hard 4x4. No offense to them, but I'm gonna take this decal off. It's got 2 tabs on it for lights. obviously a big plate there to put a winch. So I changed my lights back to, my turn signals back to yellow. I like the look of the yellow. And then I got my black headlight bezels from Kentrol. Those look pretty good. And just waxed the whole front end of the Jeep, the hood and everything, and got all the grease off of it. Got my new hood hold down clamps, new fender flares, and up here on the Jeep I actually did the black hinges and the black, like just the black dress up kit from Kentrol. It's all black stainless steel, black cowl vent, new Kentrol mirrors, both sides, and then down here I did the Kentrol sill plates. So next up are these rear wheel wells. They just need some attention, a little TLC, and I'm going to paint this chrome piece here, or stainless piece, whatever, kind of like I did with that there, to match, and touch everything up there. I'm also going to put the new fender flares on and continue to clean up this back part that's next on the horizon. I'm also going to change the rear differential gasket because it's leaking pretty good from the rear differential. So overall, a pretty big difference in how the Jeep looks, and it rides a lot better. Still have a lot more work to do on it though.